Gen X, if there's one thing about us that I know for sure, we love to dance. We grew up in what I believe is the dancing revolution. Yeah, there's been nightclubs and stuff like that where people would dance and honky tonks, but nothing to what we saw in the late 70s and into the 80s and 90s. A scene that was really started by our big brothers and sisters, those in Generation Jones, because they saw the creation of dance clubs like Club 54 and other exclusive clubs in bigger cities like Chicago and LA, along with New York. And they really pushed this dance revolution so much that we started seeing dance clubs open up around the country in other cities, and not just the big cities, New York, Chicago, and LA. And then it really pushed on to us. So like I said, we grew up in the dance revolution. So we saw the birth of the discotheque in the mid to late 70s. And then that evolved into the dance clubs that we saw into the 80s and into the 90s. And we loved dancing so much that dance club owners were like, hey, we need to let these kids in younger. So they started opening up underage dance clubs to teenagers. I remember going to some underage dance clubs here in Portland that would allow people as young as 14 in. Yes, Gen Xers have been going to dance clubs since we were 14 years old. Some of us. Now, these clubs would only allow 14-year-olds in up to a certain hour, which I believe was 9 or 10 o'clock. And then after that, it was 16 and over. These dance clubs were really restricted to people from 14 to 20 years old. Nobody 21 and over were allowed in these clubs. This push was really spawned by dance shows that we saw on TV. Yes, we have dance shows on TV today, like So You Think You Can Dance or Dancing with the Stars, but nothing compared to what we had back then. Gen X, you may remember shows like Solid Gold or American Bandstand or Soul Train or a few other shows that we had. There was probably a dozen dance shows on TV during the late 70s and into the late 80s. And I think it really pushed Gen Xers to want to experience that night scene, so we started going to the dance clubs. But anyways, yes, so if there's one thing I can say about Gen X, it's we love to dance.
We are Gen X.